Before the arenas, before the awards.
This is b4Nashville Live. Have a question for our guest? Send it to us via Messenger.
Here's your host, George Davis.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is well, and I will show my beautiful face here in just a second, as soon as I can get back over here. There we go. I'm sure my kids will argue with that, should they be on tonight. I've got a couple on tonight. I've been wanting to get them on for a while, and I haven't really had the opportunity. We just haven't been able to get the schedule worked out, but I finally got them on tonight, and we got some of the questions will be some that you're used to. Some of them will be questions that you've not heard before, because I kind of customized this to them, and you'll find out why in just a little bit. They used to go by the name Cross Atlantic, and there was a reason behind that, and we'll talk about that as well. But now they're known as Karli and James. Hi, Karli. Hi, James. How you doing?
Hello. Hey. We're doing good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. Now, I'm going to start off with James, because I kind of know a little bit about Karli's background. But James, when did you get into music?
I mean, I grew up in a non-musical playing household, but a music loving household. My parents had a colossal CD collection. My parents, what they did was they produced catwalk runway shows in the fashion industry. So my dad's main job for that was to figure out music for those, which meant he had every single, top 40 CD that came out. He had to go and buy them every single week. So I was exposed to a lot of music from a lot of different genres from a very early age, but I didn't start playing an instrument until I was about 10. I started out with the drums and then gradually made my way forward.
So when you started out with playing and stuff, what was the genre of choice?
Really rock. My dad was a big influence on me in terms of musical choice and things. And he took me to my first concert, which was Deep Purple and Styx and Thin Lizzy, all on the same bill. So a good old classic rock concert. And I kind of started out learning drums to Deep Purple, Phil Collins, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, good choices. I will tell you that. And so you're growing up and you're living in England. What part of England were you in?
I was in the north of England when I grew up, but we moved down to a small island off the south coast, which is called Guernsey. And I didn't actually start playing a musical instrument until I moved to Guernsey. I moved there when I was 9, and it's a very, very musical island. There's a lot of opportunity for music, because there's not a lot of people who necessarily go on to be professional, but there's a very high standard of amateur musician there. So it was a great place for me to kind of foster that relationship with playing music.
Is that the kind of place where now they have a, kind of an influx of music from outside of the area? I mean, are there places to play, or is it just mostly island people that like to play?
Mostly island people. The claim to fame is that the local venue Elton John played one time. He just showed up and played a gig. But that's about it, really. It's very small. The island is 8 by 6 miles, and there's about 64,000 people who live there. So it's quite closed off in terms of bringing other artists in to play.
Right. Now, Karli, you started off in an actual musical family.
I did. Yes. I grew up on the stage because my mom and dad actually met in Nashville, and they were both pursuing a career in the 90s in Nashville to be artists, singers, and my mom ended up going back to Missouri, where she's originally from. And my dad followed her there when she got a good gig singing backup for Roy Clark as a hee-haw honey. So my dad followed her there, and they just never came back to Nashville. And they started their own Opry show. It was a full family affair with the grandma at the ticket stand and my grandpa behind the counter selling popcorn. And they had me, of course, and then my mom's sister, my Aunt Sherry, she sang, and me and my cousin and my little sister. So it was a whole family affair. So that's how I grew up into music. I don't really know anything else or know if I could do anything else.
So I'm going to shoot this to both of you. You can just answer it individually. Who were some of your musical influences?
My musical influences. So, since I did grow up in Missouri, very close to you, so I grew up on George Strait. That was my dad's like king. And I grew up on the Dixie Chicks and Shania Twain and, Patsy Cline as well. So, stuff like that. Very, very country. I was rooted in country. That's what we sang on the Opry show every Saturday. As I got older, I got a little bit more into some rock, Fleetwood Mac, the Beatles. And then I met this guy, and he was English and into rock. And I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, I grew up very much on rock music. That was kind of my go-to. Like I said, Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin, the kind of classic British rock institutions. My dad was also very into film scores, so it was a mixture of classic hard rock and Hans Zimmer and John Williams film scores.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, classic rock, it's great. I mean, Deep Purple, love those guys. Styx,
Yep.
Led Zeppelin. I'm just kind of an all around guy. As long as it's not Karli, I hope I don't offend you, but as long as it's not Taylor Swift, I'm good to go.
That's okay. It's safe to say that here.
I'm actually thinking about putting up, the cussing jars where you have to put change in every time you say
Oh,
a bad
yeah.
word.
Yeah.
But doing that with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and every time their name's mentioned in our house, which I love Travis Kelce, but I've heard enough.
I think we've all heard enough about that particular one.
Yeah, I think we
start
have.
putting money in the jar, and then maybe we can go on vacation by February.
Yeah,
probably.
You can go on vacation by December, actually, at this rate.
Especially if you're watching the NFL right now.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now, one of the things about your music that I found is it's very unique. I mean, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's not really pop country. It's not classic country. It's just kind of wholesome country.
Yeah.
If that's any kind of a.
That sounds about right, I think.
Yeah. We have really gotten into our sound and who we are the past year. And we've really been influenced by like Fleetwood Mac, rock wise, and Sugarland and Miranda Lambert, and we've kind of become a mixture of that kind of sound, and so we like to call it leather and lace country. That's who we are. We're straight laced roots, right? But with a bit of edgy truth.
I like that. Oh, that's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
Okay.
Next merch order, it's going to say leather and lace country. That's all you have to say.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
That's pretty awesome. I got busted out, by the way, by my daughter when I said something about Taylor Swift, because I took her to her first Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, yep.
But I did it for her, not for me.
Aww,
so remember that.
Sweet.
That's a good dad right there.
I mean, I have been to a couple of Taylor Swift concerts myself, so.
Yeah, just the one. But so the odd thing that a lot of people would want to know that don't know you is the elephant in the room. I mean, James, you're from the UK. Karli, you're from Missouri/Tennessee.
Yep.
How'd y'all get together?
Well, Karli lived here in Nashville. 2 to 3 years before.
Yeah, it's about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years. I always underestimate. And I came on a holiday, and I'd been a few months earlier. Our paths hadn't crossed. I came with my childhood best friend, and I wanted to come back, and he wasn't really up for coming back. So I came on my own, and I ran into Karli in a coffee shop, and we started talking and hanging out. And I was here for about 8 weeks. We wrote a lot of songs together. We kind of went to see a lot of shows together, and then went back to the UK and demoed up some of the songs. And she FaceTimed me or something like that and said, I think we should be a duo. And kind of here we are. But it was a long old process to make that a reality. There was a lot of hoops to jump through for visas and things like that. It took about 2.5 years to get me to move over here. And then when I finally did move over here, that's actually when we started dating. So it took a long time for that. We were friends and bandmates. Then we started dating.
Yeah,
And
we actually have a story about, or a song,
a
sorry.
song.
We have a song about our story called Love You Like a Lover on our latest EP. And it's like very specific to our story.
It is. It's our autobiographical love story.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to that one because that'll be interesting. Because I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where you're songwriting pals, you're hanging out, and then you become a duo, and then you become a forever duo after that.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So it's really cool. Now I gotta address this real quick because Karli, I know you grew up in Southwest Missouri in Bolivar
Yes.
and the school there. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but the reason I know that is because you went to school with my boys.
Yeah.
And so I'm very familiar with that area. And you kind of answered the question I was gonna ask earlier, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask it again because
Okay.
at about 15, you asked your mom and dad to move back to Nashville.
I did.
What was their initial response to that? Were they ready to go back, or did they say we really don't want to, or what happened?
You know, it was a process because by the time I was 10 years old, I was asking to move to Nashville because, I mean, a 10-year-old doesn't really write songs, but I was trying, and I would write some with my dad. And I actually still remember the day I drew like a picture, like a little card. I made one myself and I gave it to them. And I said, like, this is me in Nashville. And I was like riding my horse, but I was like going to Nashville.
That would take a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
And so I don't think it was just like I was 15 and I was ready to go. It was a process for sure. But by the time I was 15, I had written some songs. We had worked with Ronnie McDowell, who is a close family friend because he used to come play at the Opry shows in Missouri. And he actually had a friend here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, where we live now, who opened up his studio to me, and him and Ronnie introduced me to musicians. And we came actually, before we moved to Nashville, we came and recorded like an EP, a few songs that I had written. And Ronnie said to my parents, she's could, really be the real deal, and she's got something. And I think that gave them some confidence, because like they're my parents and they've always, believed in me and encouraged me. But once we did that, it was kind of like, yeah, you know what? They felt comfortable as long as everything else job wise fell into place, and it did for them. So one day they're like, let's go to Nashville. And then my dad got it, accepted in the job here as a Hendersonville police officer. And he's like, you want to do it? And we're all like, yeah. And then we said yes. And then I cried because I was scared.
Oh no.
But we did it.
How did it change going from Bolivar? Because I mean, Bolivar's not a huge town. What is the population there? 12, 13,000?
Yeah, I think it's like, it's about 11,000.
Yeah, and that's without college.
Yeah.
That's residents.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then when you get college in, it does go up a little bit. But you went from there to Hendersonville, which is quite, I mean, and just in the Nashville area in general, I mean, it's kind of all like suburbs almost. It's so close together. What was that like being a young lady at 15 because you're going to a different school?
Yeah. I look back often at that and I think, wow, was she fearless? Because before I moved here, I would get up, at Bolivar and play in the school talent shows. And looking back at that, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I would like get up and play my own song in front of my school like that. But I guess I would still today, but it's kind of crazy. But yeah, when I moved, I was kind of like the one that sang a lot, in Missouri. But you come here, and even though I was still in high school, there was a lot of kids that were singing and playing and all of that stuff. It was, I was just part of a whole group of talented people. So it
Right.
was very different. It was a much bigger school. But it was good because I think like when you surround yourself with other talented people, it just makes you better.
Right. Right. Now, James, what about you? When you came to America and left the UK, I mean, you were older, obviously,
Right.
but what was the culture shock that you had when you got to Nashville and the
Um,
difference between
you
the
know,
two?
we've done vacations as a family in America often throughout my life. So in terms of anything being too much of a surprise in terms of the differences between England and America, of which there are many, and there are also not many in this kind of strange kind of way. I was very accustomed to America already, so there wasn't too much there. And I had been living in London, so it wasn't like Nashville was a big city. Nashville was a very small city for me. So if anything, it was nice because London was a little bit too much for me for the 3 years I was there. So it was nice to come to a city where it was a little bit more chilled, a little bit more relaxed. Um, so yeah, I just, I was backwards and forwards so much. It was a very gradual change for me. I would come here for sort of 4 weeks at a time and then go back to the UK for 8 to 10 weeks and then come back for 4 weeks, and we do meetings and just get stuff rolling. So yeah, it didn't really feel like too much of a transition because it just happened very, very gradually, almost unnoticeable.
Okay. Got a question here from Paul Skinner that says, I know they both write for other artists. Is that process different when writing for yourselves than writing for somebody else?
I think
um
I
it,
think
it
it can
depends.
be. Um, I've been writing quite a lot recently for other artists. And when you are the artist and like you're searching for a song and you're going to put out a project, it's a little different because you're kind of searching for something specific and something that you really want to say, like that's on your heart that you almost like need to get out.
Right.
Because those make the best songs. So that I think that's where it is a bit different for when you're writing for other artists, because you want to get from the other artist what they want to say. And so I feel like you're a bit more open. It can be kind of more so anything when you're writing for other artists.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think to that end, I think every write is different
Yeah.
in its own way. So yeah, we just kind of approach every write as a completely as it is. It's a blank sheet of paper,
Yeah,
and
you kind of want something to come to you.
when you're writing with other people, you just
Yeah.
got to go with what the vibe is that day. Sometimes
Mm.
that's not always the vibe that you're feeling,
Yeah.
and sometimes it is. So it's very much a bit of a give and take thing. But there's definitely a different approach. Far less personal generally when you're writing for a different artist. But not always. Sometimes they want to tap into your personal experiences.
Yeah.
So again, just kind of roll with it and see what happens on any given
See
day.
what comes out.
Well, as songwriters, one of the questions I guess it's one of my favorite to ask. What song have you heard and you've just gone, my goodness, why could I have not written that song?
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of those, I'll be honest.
Yeah. There are a lot of those, but I do think one that like really pulls at my heartstrings and I wish so badly that I could have written and said is The House That Built Me
Mm,
by Miranda Lambert. Um, it's just stunning. Such a
yes.
good song.
I wish
Very
I'd
much.
written My Way because it's the most covered song of all time, so I'd have loads of money.
Very different answers, but this is why we work.
I am actually joking. I don't
Yeah.
really think I have a specific. There's so many songs, especially in Nashville, that we are surrounded by, and I hear on the radio or in a restaurant or in a store, and I'm like, I wish I'd written that one. And then another one comes on afterwards. I'm like, I wish I'd written that one as well. So
It's true.
yeah, lots of great music out there. It would be really hard to say a specific one, but if you played a song right now, I probably, you know, a big song, I'd probably be like, yeah, wish I'd written that one too.
Right. That's kind of like,
But-
you know, Luke Combs won the award last night for Fast Car, and then Tracy
Right.
Chapman turned around and won another award for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So-
It
There's-
is crazy.
Yeah, I will say that generally the kind of songs that give me that feel are the simple songs where they say something and you think,
Right.
oh, why didn't I think of that
Mhm.
angle or that tagline or that melody? Like they're the ones I think that always really stand the test of time. When it is apparently very simple, but you know, in practice, it's actually not simple to come up with those things. That's where the genius lies, you know.
It's true.
Right. Now, James, I know you play guitar, and Karli, you play as well. When you guys sit down and you're writing for yourselves, who normally comes up with the melody for a song, or is that just whoever has that idea jumps in?
We go through different periods.
Yeah.
I mean, initially when we first started writing, I was very much the melody guy.
Yeah, because I'm a lyric.
Yeah.
I'm a lyricist.
But now, you know, I hear her, like, Karli comes up with melodies, and I'm like, well, that's a James melody. So I've definitely I've definitely
taught me a lot
had
about
an
melodies.
influence on that. So
Yeah.
I'm a bit null and void now with the melodies because she can do everything that I used to do, but just as well, probably better.
Hey, it takes a man. It takes a man to admit that, James. So we're proud of you for that. It takes a big man to admit that. What has been, if you're out on tour or you're playing somewhere, what's been your most embarrassing stage moment? We're gonna get in a little bit of that real quick.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
Touch wood. I don't know if I've had any truly embarrassing moments. Just obviously there's the odd mess up where you forget a lyric or fluff a guitar line. You know, we're all human, and it definitely happens. I can't think of anything that just like jumps at me. I haven't ripped my pants or anything up until this
Yeah,
point.
that's what I was saying. I was like, I don't
But
know if
fingers crossed on that one. We got 2 shows coming up this weekend, and I don't fancy doing that one. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I have had like my most embarrassing moment, but it's always quite embarrassing when you forget the lyrics to your own song,
Right.
which honestly I do a lot because I don't know what it is. Not a lot, but you know, every now and then, or forgetting the lyrics to like a song that everybody knows because you're
Right.
like playing a whole set and all of a sudden it just goes. It's just like not there in the brain. So it happens.
my standout worst moment on stage, maybe not an embarrassing moment, but when you say something like that, the thing that jumps out at me that I always remember, the most excruciatingly painful moment was I was in a rock band before I was with Karli, and we were playing a big show at Rock Hall in Luxembourg, huge stage, and getting into it. And the last song, I thought I'm going to do a power slide across the stage on my knees. I used to do that often, so it was a fairly standard thing. But I did that, and there was 2 pieces of stage that joined together, and I went straight over it, and it was a rather big bump on my knee. Almost, it felt like it shattered on stage. And then I had to limp my way through the last 3 minutes of the song. But that was my worst moment on stage ever, because I felt like I was going to be sick.
I was actually, when you started telling that story, I was picturing a Luke Bryan moment where you didn't stop and you just kept right on going.
Yeah. No, that bump definitely stopped me. It was a hard stop at that bump, and my knee knew about it.
Talking about your shows, you're doing full sets and stuff like that. What's one song that is kind of your go-to cover tune, the cover tune that you guys just love to do?
I would say probably Go Your Own Way. because we've been doing it since we started together.
Yeah, but we don't play that every set. What we do play every set is Come Together by the Beatles.
We do.
Which is
Yeah.
interesting because the very first time we met, we spent probably an hour talking about the Beatles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bonding thing for us. My
Mhm.
family, everyone else apart from myself, is from Liverpool. So very much grew up in Liverpool. I've taken Karli to Liverpool. She's almost mastered understanding the accent. But we play Come Together, whether we're playing acoustically, whether we're playing with the band, whether we're just doing, even if we're just doing a show which is just original songs, then we always throw one cover in, unless it's
and
like
it's usually Come Together.
unless it's like the Bluebird or something like that, which is strictly originals. But
Yeah.
Come Together would be the go-to.
The crowd just really reacts to Come Together. The crowd reacts to some Beatles. Like
Well,
they get excited because we obviously do it our own way.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that one's always fun.
so we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first time I met the two of you, you were playing in Bolivar at Country Days,
Yeah.
and we were standing off to the side. Of course, I was talking to your dad and everything, and I was just soaking it in, listening. And I know you did Go Your Own Way, and I'm sure you did Come Together. But I had my granddaughter there who was standing in front of the stage the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I do remember
cute.
that.
yeah, sang your song. Was it My Hometown? That was
Dear
called?
Hometown.
Yeah, Hometown. Sang every word, whether she had it right or not, and she was singing loud.
Oh, that was a fun show. It was so nice to see them in the front row singing along
Yeah.
like that. It was so cute.
And that was the first time I got to hear you guys live, because my son
Amazing.
had been asking me to do that for a long time, and I
Yeah.
just never. When we're in Nashville, it's like run, and I never think to text your dad when we get there and go, hey, we're Karli and James that tonight,
Yeah.
and but it was you guys had a great show.
Thank
It
you.
seemed really short. That was the thing about it. And I know it was probably a standard length, for that, but for us, it was just really short. We wanted to hear more. We just wanted
Well, that's nice.
That's always a nice thing.
Yeah, that's way better than people being like, oh, they played for too long.
Yeah, we don't want you waiting for us to leave the stage. Come on, guys. Come on.
all right. I got to go to lunch or
Yeah.
dinner or whatever. And come on, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to segue this into your song, because I got a text from your dad a couple weeks ago, and then I caught part of it, but you guys had a major expose moment with the new song.
Yeah, and it wasn't that I got caught with my pants down. It was a different kind of expose.
That's it. Exactly. Good one.
Sorry, it's after 8 o'clock. We can be a little bit naughty.
I'm a little slower. I would have hit something like let me see if I even have it here or not. Let me get back over here. Okay. I would have hit
Okay,
that.
yeah.
But I'm a little slow.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow. I
You'll be ready
There
for
we
the
go.
next one.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm not going to guarantee that either. But for years,
Yeah.
Bob Kingsley did AT40.
Yes.
And then when Bob sadly passed away, they brought on a new guy to do it. And his name is Fitz. And I listened to his explanation, because he actually played the song on AT40, which is on,
Yep.
Holly, I don't know how many radio stations. It's worldwide.
Yeah, hundreds of radio stations. It's syndicated. It's it was played in pretty much every state, every town across America.
Yeah.
Which was, and it was very much a surprise. We got a message from Fitz that morning. We were away in Little Rock playing a show, and we were like, we better get checked into our hotel so we have a room, so we have somewhere to listen to us being on the radio for the first time.
That was the coolest part about it, is it was so organic. It was a surprise, because he has been watching us since he saw us play, like 8 years ago or something.
I think it was before maybe before I moved here.
Maybe it was. And he is just been so kind and like just stayed in touch ever since then. And he just messaged us out of the blue being like, I love your new song, Tullahoma. I would love for you to be on the CT40 Launchpad as featured artist this week. And we were like, I'm sorry, what? That, are you sure? And he's like, absolutely. So we're like, okay. He was like, this is the time, and it'll be on all these radio stations. Here's the list of all the radio stations. And I was looking through them, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. It's nuts. So it was really, really special. We were stuck in a hotel room, so we couldn't listen to it on the actual radio in the car, but we pulled it up on the phone.
Yeah, it was very incredibly exciting.
Yeah. And very, very cool to hear your song on, country radio.
Yeah,
for
it
the
just
first
sounds
time.
better on the radio somehow.
With a big intro.
Yeah, and you can listen to it 100 times on the, CD or through the streaming or whatever, and it's just never the same, for whatever reason. Every artist dreams of having their song on the radio, even in the the DSP age that we're in now, but it's not the same as having it on the actual radio station.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
So that was really cool. And kind of struck up a relationship and stuff, which I thought was really awesome. And it all goes back to something I've said for years. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
There's definitely a big dose of that in this world.
Yes, very much so.
Most definitely. So we're going to play Tullahoma. I don't get to put it to hundreds of radio stations around the world, but we've got people watching and listening, and so they'll get to hear it. And then after the show, I will move it. I'm going to always move the songs that we feature that night over to the b4Nashville playlist on Spotify, so you can catch it over there as well. And so if you want to go back and find it and you can't remember whatever, then just go to the playlist and find it. But this is Karli and James. It's called Tullahoma. It's a fantastic song, by the way, and I'll brag more about it in about 3 minutes. Okay.
Thank you.
So you guys just hang tough, and we'll be right back with that. Here's Karli and James with Tullahoma.
When I hit the road, we roll coast to coast. Keep the four-wheel spinning, another town, another show. Every now and then I like to pump the brakes, slow down for a minute off the 41A. Tullahoma, calling me, a little small town happening. See, born from the tracks that still run through you. Counting down the days till I get back to you. Cities grow up there, but it sure grows on you. Tullahoma. Call you the rising star, and I can see why. Bet you I could count about 1,000 of them in your summer sky. A sip of coffee county fills my cup. A couple days by the lake make you fall in love. Tullahoma, feels like home to me. Small town heaven here, down there in Tennessee. Born from just to run through you, counting down the days till I get back to you. City grows there, sure grows on you.
Can you pass me that water?
Every now and then I like to pump the brakes, slow down for a minute off the 41. to the feels like home to me. Little small town heaven here, right down there in Tennessee. Born from tracks that still run through ya. Can't down the days till I get back to ya. Didn't grow up there, but it sure grew on ya. Oklahoma.
All right, that was Karli and James and Tullahoma. That is an amazing song. Karli, your voice is just so good, so smooth, and then James, I'm not taking anything away from you either. But you guys, you just mesh together so well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah, we're told that just a lot when we started writing songs together, and we didn't mean to create that sound. It just kind of happened, and we were like, okay, well, let's run with this.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Why broke it if or why fix it if it ain't broke?
Yeah.
Let's talk some more about like the shows and stuff that you guys do. Karli, I'll start with you. What takes you the longest to get ready for a show?
She can be pretty quick, actually. I'll just, if you give Karli plenty of time, she'll take it. But if you have to get ready in 10 minutes for a show,
I
that's
will.
pretty impressive. Most females can't do that. So
Mhm.
Credit where credit's due.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, makeup does take kind of some time, but I can do it pretty quickly. But if I have the time, then the makeup probably takes me the longest, or actually picking out the outfit. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sometimes I do that for you. It's true.
So James, same question. What takes you the longest to get ready for a show?
Tuning my guitar. Karli's always like, "Oh, it's so unfair. You just throw on this, the same outfit every time." I'm like, I'm a black t-shirt, black jeans guy, maybe a jacket if it's cold.
Yep.
And then but I'll be running around making sure that all the equipment's in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
So,
he even wakes up with his hair like that, so it's not really fair.
Not 100%, but if anything's going to give me hassle, it's going to be the hair, and it depends
It
on the day.
doesn't.
Some days.
And the humidity, right? As guys
Exactly.
we have to deal with humidity so much with our hair. I run into that a lot. So, all right, we're going to do kind of a newlywed type of thing here, but you're both going to get to hear the question and you're going to have to give me the answer about the other person.
Okay.
All right. Now, describe the other's personality as one of the following. I'm just going to give you names. I'm not going to tell you why. Maybe you can figure that out. And if you can't, then I'll explain it. Jim Carrey, Mariah Carey, or Kanye West.
I don't think that's hard. I'm not sure any of them really fit the bill for you. You're not a diva, so I can't go with Mariah Carey. And Kanye West, I wouldn't put that on anybody. So
Kanye.
by process of elimination, it has to be Jim Carrey.
That's hilarious. I'll take it.
That was a very good,
So,
very good explanation.
it definitely wouldn't be Kanye for you.
Good, we can stay married. If you just take Kanye, then I wouldn't have been happy.
I would have just called a divorce and I'd have felt terrible.
I'm gonna have to go with Mariah Carey for you.
What?
So James, you're a bit of a diva.
A bit of a diva.
I am not a diva. I'm very, very laid back. Oh dear.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. I hope you guys stay together because if you don't, your dad's gonna hunt me down, Karli. You realize that.
Love it.
Let's see here. Sorry, I had a Message from my daughter. For some reason the song is breaking out. I don't know. It's over with now. So I don't know. It's technical.
Yeah.
Drives you nuts. Just when you think you got everything right. Now, last night, the CMAs, everybody knows that they were there. I mean um, that the CMAs were going on last night, and you guys actually had a little bit of fun after the CMAs.
Yeah, we actually didn't get to see the CMAs because we were busy working, because we were playing an after show party at the Opryland Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very famous big old hotel just outside of Nashville, and we were playing an after show party, so we were sound checking and getting ready during the award show. So we had friends texting us with the results, and we haven't had a chance to watch any of it back yet. So
I saw like 2 performances while I was doing my makeup, but that's about it.
That's about it. So we're a little behind on the whole CMA thing.
Yeah, but
So
we
can
did
you-
do a CMA after party. It was just like for kind of a small group of people last night that were staying at Opryland Hotel, but it was super cool. You know, everyone had a great time at the CMAs, and it's always nice to be asked and be a part of CMA awards in some way.
Right. Now, you said it was kind of a small group. I was going to ask if there are any big names that you can name drop, maybe that came in, or was it just people that were at the hotel? Because I mean, people are partying all over Nashville last night.
Right. There was no big names from last night. Last year we ended up with a lot of big names, weirdly, at the party, but last night, not in terms of famous people. I mean, I think there was probably a lot of high profile people, maybe with
sponsorship,
with
people.
some money in the room last night.
Yeah.
No one who I recognize the face of, but there was some nice looking tuxedos, shall we say.
Those are honestly probably the people you'd rather have than the high profile name people, because
Right.
again, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Totally.
Exactly.
So that could work out in your favor. So how did you get into that gig? I mean, is it something somebody? Does it go back to that again?
It does. Yeah, we have regular booking people, and that's kind of in the corporate world, and we have a guy who books us for corporate events. So it actually it came through him on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the venue that you guys have played, and if it's the same for both or if it's different, and you can say it, but what would you say is your favorite venue to play?
Yeah, we do get asked that question
Mm-hmm.
on a regular. I think we both pretty much have the same answer,
Yes.
but I'll let you say it this time.
So we got to open for Brandy Clark on her UK tour,
Oh,
and she's incredible. We went all over the UK with her, but we got to do 2 nights. Every night was sold out. We got to do 2 nights in London at the Union Chapel, and the Union Chapel is this incredible old church that has been converted into a music venue, and
It was a bucket list venue for me. So
amazing.
when we got, we knew we were going to open for Brandy, and when we got the list of venues through, I was like, wow, we get to do Union Chapel, and not only that, we get to do 2 nights there. There's some iconic live recordings from that venue, and you should look it up. It's
incredible.
Quite an amazing place.
Yeah, so that's I think like that is something that was like incredible show for the both of us. But a venue that we get to play consistently, that we both actually really love because there's some magic in it, is actually the Bluebird Cafe here in Nashville. It's just nice because there's all these people that you get to meet for the first time, and they're meeting you because they don't necessarily know your music, because they're coming to the Bluebird, because everyone just wants to go to the Bluebird Cafe, but is magical because they are all there to hear music, original music.
Yeah.
right. I have to be honest, all the trips that we have made to Nashville in the last 8 years, we have never gone to the Bluebird.
Wow.
It's hard to get into.
It is hard to get into, but I would definitely
That's what I heard.
I would definitely say it's worth a trip. It's there's nowhere else on earth quite like it.
Yeah, it's true.
For better or for worse. For me, for better. But
Yeah.
you know, each to their own.
Normally we go to Nashville and it's a work related thing. I mean, we took
Yeah.
when we were down there a couple of years ago, we took Sunday afternoon and played tourist, and that was it. And we
Yeah.
made it as far as, I think it's, what is it, Robert's Western Wear, that has the
Yeah.
buy one pair get two free type of boot thing. One of
Yeah.
those. Or
Yeah.
we went to
the-
Miranda's place. We hit
Mhm.
some of the bars, Miranda's, and we went to Redneck Riviera, and some of the ones we hadn't been to yet. Now the next trip we go down, we'll do that again because there's some new bars. But
there's literally seems like new bars every time we go down. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's like you know, Eric Church announced his, and then Luke Bryan, and then, or not Luke Bryan, Luke Combs,
Yeah.
you know, taking over the Wild Horse, and then Garth, and now Hank Jr.'s got one coming in. Eric Church has got one coming in. And I'm just like, I mean, it almost feels like at times that downtown's just going to be gone. I mean, you know, with almost lost the Ernest Stubbs record store. Thank goodness somebody bought that.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I don't think gone, but definitely different.
Mhm.
I think there's positives and negatives to that. Yeah. There's kind of a charm to the old dirty honky tonks, and now everything's, you know, it's kind of swanky. You can
Yeah.
go to the second floor of these bars and get sushi, and you know, they serve nice wine and cocktails, and you know, there's
There's a line outside to get in.
yeah, I mean, that's cool in its own way, but my personal preference would be, you know, an old sticky floored honky tonk like it used to be, and there's still a few of those, but
yeah, Robert's Western World being one of them.
yeah, that's
Right.
pretty much the last bastion, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's definitely changing. But
Mhm.
everything changes eventually. So
And a lot of the stuff that happens in Nashville for people in Nashville and people that don't want to do the Broadway thing
yeah,
is like Midtown, you know, down around DeMumbry, and then, you know, Winners and Losers, and some of those places. And that's also where a lot of the artists hang out. I probably shouldn't say that because I don't want people to start going there now and they're going, oh my goodness, you know.
it's true. You never know.
Chris Young, don't talk to him, okay? Just do not talk to him.
Yeah, if you go into Red Door on any night, you're probably going to run into somebody famous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. Chris is just, he's like, when I'm out, I'm me. I'm
Yep.
not Chris Young the singer. I'm Chris Young the guy that just wants to hang out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
And
he
honestly,
likes to go out.
when you see people like that in these places, because they're not drawing attention to themselves and they're just there to be themselves, unless you're looking for them, you can just walk straight past them, and that's
Yeah.
the great thing.
That's
Nashville
why
is
they like Nashville.
Nashville is full of that, and that's one of the huge
Right.
charms of this city.
Right. And I mean, we'd love to go down there. We're not that far away. We're only about 3.5 hours. It's just we don't make it down that way very much. Let's talk about, do you guys karaoke much?
No, we do
No.
not.
We don't. We've had some karaoke nights in our time.
I don't like doing karaoke.
But
I think
you have.
yeah, but because I've been forced to.
Well, what song have you been forced to do the most in karaoke?
I really haven't done enough to have been forced to do enough.
Well, I feel like for me, I think Shania Twain is probably the one. It doesn't matter which of her songs, probably like Man I Feel Like a Woman or Any Man of Mine. It's
Right.
probably like the main ones that I've sang.
I just feel like when you go and do karaoke, when you're a professional, like half the people in the room like, oh, this is great, I love it, like, yeah, you guys sound great, and half the people in the room are just like, get off the stage, we hate this, you clearly know how to sing, like, this is stupid, this is what we're here for.
Yeah.
I hate splitting the room like that. It's so awkward.
Yeah, but we did have a night out with some friends one time, and everyone wanted us to sing Need You Now by Lady A.
Yeah, but
And
there
we
was
did
three
it.
of us.
We did it with us and Mary Sarah.
Yeah, Mary
my
Sarah
friend
from The
Mary Sarah.
Voice. And we did it in
Okay.
3-part harmony, and there was, that's a
Yeah,
bold choice at
you know.
karaoke to go for perfect 3-part harmony.
It was fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, and I'm a big Voice fan. I've had Matter of fact, I just had another voice contestant on last Thursday night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I've had 5 on. I have another one coming on Monday night. So
That's great.
it's like I was telling somebody the other day, I need to change the name of the podcast to After the Voice.
After the yeah.
Excuse me.
That's funny.
So, being an independent artist, I mean, it's really hard at times. What are the biggest challenges or the biggest challenge that you two have ran into with being independent artists?
I mean, one thing we're blessed with is the fact there's 2 of us and not 1 of us, and we hold each other accountable. If one person's having a down day, then the other one can be having a let's go get them day, and we can keep each other, going after it. So that's a positive from an independent standpoint. But the hardest thing is, I think, and I don't think this is just a music thing. I think if you're running a small business or a podcast or anything, there's so much noise out there now. It's wonderful that everybody can release music, but it's also a hindrance because everyone can release music. I think there's 80 to 90,000 songs come out on Spotify every single day.
Wow.
That's a lot of content, and I'm not saying at
Kind of
all,
makes it hard for you to be seen.
yeah, and I'm not saying at all that we should be like, oh, let's put up gatekeepers and stop people putting music out. It's a blessing and a curse, but it's, if you can find a way to cut through that noise, then you're on an upward trajectory. But it can be really hard to figure out a way of cutting through that noise.
Really hard. And I would like to add on, it is saturated, and that means like places like social media are saturated. James and I are, just, kind of silly to say, but we're kind of old souls. So we're not like those people that just want to be on social media all day and want to share everything. So it's been a little bit challenging for us social media wise to grow our numbers, because that is what is expected these days. The music industry doesn't really champion artists and develop artists in the way that they used to. They just want to see, big numbers and see you do that yourself first. So I think that's a very, very big challenge for us, but we keep trying, we keep going,
keep learning,
posting. That's all we can do. But yeah, I would say that is a big one.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's it's effectively oversaturation of.
Yeah,
I think we're all oversaturated. There's so much coming at us, whether it's news or music or streaming platforms. There's Netflix. There's how do we keep up with everything? It's a lot different to the world when there was 3 TV channels and that was it.
Yeah,
right.
not that to be honest, I was not around during that period. But it sounds great.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember when I was the remote control in the family.
Yeah. My
nice.
parents were just visiting from England, and my dad was talking about when there was only 1 channel on the television. So that's what got me thinking about that. I was like, wow, 1 channel, and it was not even on all day. Like it only started at 3 p.m. and went through till 10 or something. It's like, wow, it's a very different world.
Yeah, and I remember we were like one of the first families that ever got a remote control TV.
Wow,
which is so weird.
It's like some sort of witchcraft and wizardry situation.
You can sit over at the the couch across the room about 8 feet away, and you just click, click, click. It would only change them one at a time. You couldn't put in numbers or anything. It wasn't that fancy, but it was But that's how the world has changed. It's been the same way with music. Like in Music Row, artists used to walk up and down Music Row with CDs or cassettes in their hand, and they would walk into an office and say, "Hi, I'm George. This is my new single. Do you mind give it a listen?"
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you'd have to be probably a little bit more than that, but
it's not far
I'm
off
sure
the truth,
when they're that nice, they're just going to be laughed out. But like you said, nowadays you've got to have the numbers on your social media. And by the way, Radius, no, I don't still sing "Dude Looks Like a Lady." Thank you very much. Uh, a friend of mine got on here. He's a
Oh,
character. Um, but it's so different, and like you say with social media, and that's the way that artists are found nowadays. I mean,
yeah.
Priscilla Block, you've got Bailey Zimmerman, you've got, and these are all artists that, believe it or not, um, 8 months ago, I was talking to Bailey Zimmerman himself about coming on the podcast. We never could get it worked out. And then all of a sudden he just blew up. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, there's hope of that happening now because I don't have a million followers on the podcast, but
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
it
But it's
is.
just so odd, you know.
It is
It
us.
is.
And Priscilla lives across the road from us, which is kind of funny.
Oh, well, tell her hi next time you see her outside.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
a crazy
talked to her.
world.
Yeah.
For sure. It's been a kind of a catch-22 situation for us too, because we like to just be on the road and out and playing, and we feel like that's how we make our fans. But now it's like we can't go out and play shows because no one's going to show up unless you already have the fans.
Right.
It's a very in between. It's just a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
people consume in a different way now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean trends come and go. So it doesn't mean that people won't suddenly, who would have thought 10 years ago, or I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, suddenly vinyl would start coming back and be cool. People were not pressing vinyl at all before that. So I definitely think there's scope for live shows. They're still successful live shows, but I think that people aren't just going out to music venues just on the off chance they see a band that they fall in love with anymore.
Yeah.
But I can see that coming back because
come back
it is a
around.
great way of doing things, and
Yeah.
music lovers do that, but the
Yeah.
average person doesn't really do that anymore.
Right. And
Support
that's one
live
of the
music if you can.
Yeah,
Right.
support your local venue. It's local business
Yes.
as well, go and have a beer at the local music spot, and if you don't like the band, that's all right. Like, leave after 15 minutes, but keep putting money in the pockets of the local business owners.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I push so much because I like independent artists. I mean, nothing says that, Priscilla's not great after she got signed, but the independent artists, you guys are struggling more so because of the oversaturation. I mean, now it's like once everybody figured out the formula, everybody's doing it,
Yeah,
And,
and other things that you may have had other people say this on here before, but a lot of people who don't work in the music industry don't necessarily realize this, but the automotive car industry really threw independent artists for a loop, because we would play a show and we would take CDs out with us, and we would always sell, a good show. We could sell 10 CDs, we could sell 50 CDs. And that was our profit, really. If we're traveling out of state, a lot of the time we're covering costs, a lot of travel. If we're traveling halfway across the country and with hotels and all that sort of stuff, we're not making too much profit. So CD sales was very much not just for us, but all the way up the ladders, the steps of the ladder. That CD sales was huge. And then car manufacturers said, we're not going to put CD players in cars anymore, and pretty much overnight CD sales just stopped. So that's been a huge one, is trying to figure out, and we have not figured out a merchandise situation that fills the void of CDs. We sell other merch, and it helps us out and is a big part of our, the business model of keeping us out there on the road, but nothing that's as popular as CDs were when they were the go-to thing.
For sure.
And it's so crazy because that's the car manufacturers. They have nothing to do with the music industry, and yet they have everything to do with the music industry.
I don't know if it's they have everything to do with the music industry or the music industry has everything to do with the car industry.
Right. Yeah.
Or it could be a little bit of both. Clayton has called in, and I'm hoping he's still here. Clayton, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Clayton, you got a question for Karli and James?
Well, I mean, I'm just a big fan of theirs. Me and my wife was in Nashville back in March and saw them at Puckett's. and I've been following them on social media, and I love the song Tullahoma. I love their music, and it's all homegrown, good music, and I just love it. But I guess my question is you? I mean, you guys plan to come to North Carolina anytime? I mean, we're like dying to see you guys again, and we don't really have we don't go. I've only been to Nashville once, and so we just want to find out if you're going to North Carolina anytime soon, or coming here anytime soon.
Well, hey, Clayton, thank you so much. And thanks for calling in. That means a lot to us. We really hope to be in North Carolina soon. We don't have a date, but we are working hard to hopefully travel and be on the road a lot more.
Yeah, we actually did a showcase for bookers a couple of weeks ago. We played a showcase in Charleston. So it's
South Carolina. Yeah.
Yes, but it's for the surrounding areas.
Yes.
So there is a good chance, hopefully, that that showcase will help us get some shows for next year in the Carolina kind of area. So fingers crossed, but we are working on it, I promise.
Yes, just make sure you follow us on Bands in Town or Facebook, or look at our website. We'll be keeping up with posting our show dates on there.
Okay, great. And another thing, I mean, if you guys could ever send your music, we got a local, say in Raleigh, North Carolina, actually Wake Forest, but I mean, it's all in the Raleigh area. And we have a radio station called WQDR, WQDR in our area. I'd love for you guys to send some of your music there. They do local, like new music, people love the area, or like new music from other people. And it would be great to send your music here. The local guy that's here, our local star is Jason Michael Carroll. He's in the next county. I mean, really, 5 minutes from us, but and they showcase his music sometimes. But I'd love for your music to be on the radio. I have a lot of faith in you guys. I think you guys are going to be awesome. I think you guys are going to make it. I really, really do.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. We hope we can see y'all soon. And we'll definitely reach out to the radio station. What did you say it was called?
WQDR. Yep,
Okay.
WQDR. It's I think it's 94.7 WQDR.
Cool.
And it's a local Raleigh country station. And they promote, I mean, honestly, we're from Scotty McCreery's area. He's the big star.
Okay,
Yes.
nice.
Yes, we love him.
Yeah, so yeah, we're from the same area. So, but he, his here's where he got his, I mean, of course, American Idol made him big, but here's where he grew up. So, yeah, man, you guys keep doing what you're doing. You guys are going to make it. I know you are. You guys will be on the CMAs at some point. I know you will.
Thank you, Clayton.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys. So I'll keep watching these social media and see when you guys are going to be anywhere close. I mean, even if you go to Asheville, North Carolina, which is in the mountains, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
I will travel to see you guys.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, so you guys have a great night. And keep
You
doing what you're
too.
doing.
We appreciate
You
it.
too. Thank you.
Thanks for calling, Clayton. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, sir.
Yeah, that was Clayton. And quite honestly, WQDR, I do have a friend that is a program director out there. So
There you
cool.
go.
Connections.
Yes.
I know how to butter them up. And so I'll attach, with your permission, I'll attach some of your music to a bottle of bourbon and send it to him.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Mike's a great guy, though. Mike Biddle is the guy. He's awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Let me see here. What songs? Because you guys, I mean, you're traveling around the country, you're playing, and maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you are traveling, say, from Nashville to Dallas, Vicky
Mhm.
said come back to Dallas, so that popped in my mind. So if you're traveling to Dallas, what are you listening to on your playlist, your road trip playlist?
Oh,
All kinds of stuff.
yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Um,
It really depends. Last time we listened to a true crime podcast.
yeah,
We never really delved into that stuff before, but everyone seems to do it, so we listened to it. It was terrible, but
it was really
it kept us
bad.
entertained for
Yeah, we were like,
yeah.
eh.
It honestly depends what time we're driving and what time we're traveling. Like,
yeah,
if we're later in the day, we might pump out some Shine Down or something like that.
yeah, we're
Some-
both really into Shine Down at the moment.
But if it's early in the
and,
morning, it's going to be more acoustic.
like we play anything from like Nora Jones to
Shine
Fleetwood
Down.
Mac to Shine Down.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll play musical soundtracks and we'll sing along to a Broadway
yeah.
show.
Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff.
That sounds fun. That's something we're usually listening to radio. So
Nice.
sometimes satellite radio, but
Yeah, we'll take the time to do some research as well. Like often, like tomorrow we're traveling, and I know we have friends who have. I call it research, but I mean, we got friends who have releases coming out, so we will
Yes.
be checking their releases out when they
Yep.
come out tomorrow, and
The
we'll be
Music
traveling.
Friday, we
So
usually do that.
it's a
Yeah.
good chance to kind of see what's come out of Nashville, whether it's our
Yeah.
friends or just kind of colleagues from around the industry.
For sure.
right. Let's talk back. Go back to the independent thing for a minute, because another question I like to ask, because I'm always looking for new artists to listen to. And I'll pose this again to each of you. You can each answer this. Who do you think right now is a artist or a band that is underrated and should have or be getting more exposure? Besides, of course, Karli and James.
The best band to me in Nashville that has not.
We're both gonna say the same one.
You want to say it at the same time?
Yeah.
The Woods. Yeah.
100%.
There is a trio in Nashville called the Woods.
The Woods.
They are getting some attention, but nothing,
They're friends of ours.
nowhere near what they should have got. And if you ever get the chance to see those three play live,
They
are
good.
phenomenal.
They all
So-
play an instrument like so well.
Oh, yeah.
Their harmony is so tight.
Mhm.
It's a one female and two males, and they
They're
just
so good.
yeah, they kill it.
Yeah, they
They're
don't
so
have
good.
a lot of music out.
They're working on
They're
it.
working on that right now.
Yeah, because
which
they're
I'm
actually a
excited
new
for.
trio. They were each individually
Yeah.
artists doing their own thing.
Okay.
And they just decided to
Yeah.
become a trio, and it's so good.
But if anybody is listening or watching and ends up in Nashville and they see the Woods playing anywhere, I would say you have to go and see them.
That's awesome. We'll look them up the next time we're there. I didn't know if they were like like a sibling trio with the Woods, or if they were just individuals. and
Right.
Just,
No, none of them have
They
none of them have the
aren't.
surname Woods.
No,
I'm not sure where the name comes from.
Me either.
We should ask them.
there you
Yeah.
go.
That's a question for another day.
There is a couple in the band.
Yes, two of them are dating,
Yeah.
and then there's
Yeah.
one more.
Okay. My daughter, she just asked, when are you guys coming back to Bolivar, Springfield area?
It's a good question.
Yes.
I don't know,
Hopefully
but
soon.
probably in the summertime, like spring,
Yes.
early summer is normally about
We
the time.
try to book an actual show at least once a year. So
Mhm.
hopefully it'll be like springtime.
You guys
Yeah.
usually play the Boiler Room in Bolivar.
We
We
do.
do.
Yeah, the Boiler Room is so fun to play.
Yeah, it's
We
a
love playing there.
great venue.
Yeah.
I
So
think may have been the last time y'all were there. I was talking to one of the owners, and he invited me and my wife out, and we couldn't go because we had something back here, but he invited us out to go, and I think it's one of the last times y'all were there, but I can't remember for sure. Somebody was there, I know, but I don't remember. I
Yeah.
believe it was, you two.
Yeah,
and
we
then-
didn't get to play that. We didn't get to play this year,
I
did
don't think we
we?
played this year.
It just
so
didn't work out because of schedules. But we should definitely be there. I think spring, summer next year.
Yep,
Okay.
hopefully.
So I'll make sure to keep an eye on that and let Dee Dee know because she'll go out of her mind. And
Would
she
love
did
that.
tell me to get the Woods on the podcast, so I guess I'm going to have to try to connect with them and see about getting them
Oh,
on the
there you
podcast.
go. Yeah, we can send.
Yeah, we'd be happy to hook you
their
up.
contact. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, where do the two of you go from here? What's in store for? I mean, I know you guys just got done playing like Texas and Arkansas, and hang on, let me check with dear old dad here and see what he told me because he sent me some info. Let's see. You played Texas, Arkansas, South Carolina, Tennessee. Night tomorrow you're going to the University of Evansville,
Yeah.
Evansville, Indiana.
Yes.
And then you're in Chicago on Saturday.
Pretty much. Yeah, we're in
just
a
in
like
Lincolnshire.
suburb just north of
Just north.
Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this weekend. So we
So-
have a busy weekend starting tomorrow morning.
Yes.
You do.
Which is always good.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm proud for you guys because that's what you got to have. You got to stay busy.
Yeah,
You got
this
new
is-
music coming out. You're working on some Christmas music.
Yeah. Wrote a song. I don't know.
Last year.
Last year. And we decided that we would put it out. We're still working on the date and all of that because
Well, we
we
have to
kind
get
of
it
decided
finished.
last minute.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
This is not confirmed. We're still on the road, so it's a little hard to get a song
Yeah,
finished.
it's been kind of a crazy couple of months.
But
so.
we're going to do our best to get something out.
Yeah.
If not, we have our Christmas song from last year, which you only get like a 4-week cycle on a Christmas song. So you got to keep bringing it back, you know?
You do.
You got to work it. You got to work it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
But
we do have Christmas stuff out there and hopefully a new one.
yes, hopefully a
fingers
new
crossed.
one. And we've been working on some other new music, so we're very excited.
Yeah, we just finished mixing our, next single.
Yeah.
Well, aside from Christmas stuff, we haven't decided a release date for it yet, but it will be early next year.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. If it's going to be probably into next year, or how you're going to do that. Where can they find you if they're wanting to reach out to you? What's the best place to get a hold of yet?
All over.
Yeah. I'd really like wherever you spend time. So whether you're a Facebook person, Instagram person, or TikTok, whatever. We aren't on Twitter much, or whatever it's called.
X.
Yeah.
X.
We are on there, but
We are on there,
it's not my favorite place to spend time.
Yeah.
So
Mine either.
yeah, wherever you spend time, you can email us.
Yeah.
Join our mailing list. All you have to do is enter karliandjames.com right there. That's on the screen, and
It should pop up.
It should pop up, or scroll down, and you can join our mailing list, and we'll send all of our updates there. Yeah, contact us anywhere.
Yeah. Or come see
Love
us
to
at a
keep in
show.
touch. Yeah.
Right. Do you guys send out a newsletter? I mean, I know is it just updates like, hey, we're going to be in this area, or do you send out kind of like, here's what's happening with us right now? We got new music coming out on this date, and the Christmas song is going to be released here.
Yeah, we don't send out like a monthly newsletter or anything like that. We just
No.
just when something's happening, like when a new single's coming out, we'll just let everybody know. And
Yeah.
Generally
and the shows, of course.
shows, but often shows are kind of an automated
Yeah,
thing.
it's like through
If
bands
you
in town.
sign up to our bands in town, then you'll get automatic updates if there's a show in your area, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. A publicist would be great for you guys, but there again, it's also cost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a lot of that.
they charge a nice wad of cash.
For sure.
Yes. So, looking forward to see where you guys are going to be heading from here. Waiting for new music to come out. I hope the Christmas tune comes out, but if not, I'll definitely be waiting on the other new music. Next time we're down in Nashville, which I can't tell you right now when that would be. I'm hoping it will be in February, but for some reason, there was something that I got a notification for today that I have to do in February, and I don't know what the date was or anything. So I have to double check. But usually we're down there in February for country radio seminar.
Hmm.
And that's always a fun time. Now, you guys, haven't y'all played the CMA week stage, one of the stages at CMA week?
Yeah, at CMA Fest, we
Yes.
have. We've done a couple of different stages there.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything last year, but we have in the past, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get something. Maybe be back this year, this next year, coming year.
Yeah.
I've never been to that madhouse, but
It's normally hot.
Yeah.
Really hot. Yeah, it's crazy, but it is nice because country music fans get to see a lot of artists,
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
that's pretty cool.
and that's where a lot of those country music artists build up their fans. I mean, is during
Absolutely.
For
CMA
sure.
Fest, you know. So we'll keep watching that as well, and kind of keep an eye out for where you guys are at. Thank you all for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Karli, when you talk to your dad, tell him I said hi.
I will.
He's probably still
He's-
on.
he's probably
yeah, he's
watching.
probably watching. Hello.
Just in case. Hi. I only don't say his name to protect the innocent, if you know what I mean. So, but no, her dad's great. He's a great guy, and we'll be looking for you guys. And who knows? Maybe we will run into you at some point.
Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
great. Yeah, just let us know when you're in Nashville. We'll let you know when we're in Missouri.
All right. Hey, that's perfect. So you guys go check out karliandjames.com. Be sure to go over to the podcast playlist on Spotify, where Tullahoma will be on there after we get done with the show tonight. And in the meantime, coming up Monday night, another one from The Voice. Jay Allen's going to be here.
Oh, I
So-
saw Jay on Sunday.
We've had a rough time of it, but he's just been like, dude, we're going to get this done. You know, we've really tried and tried and tried. It just hasn't worked out, but he's like, no, we're going to get it done this time. So he'll be here Monday night. And then Thursday night, I have Sandra North from Sweden, who is going to be on here. She's living in LA right now, but she'll be on Thursday night. Another international country artist. So
Awesome.
excited about that. So you guys have a great night. Karli and James, you have a fantastic night. We'll keep an eye out for what's coming up new. And until then, everybody that's watching or been hanging out with us, thanks. Y'all have a great night as well.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow b4Nashville on all social media and listen wherever you get your podcast. Tune in again for another country star of tomorrow on b4Nashville with George Davis. I'm Kevin Casey on behalf of Worldwide Fans. Have a great night.